Ganesh, Venkat, Juggy, three of you have ensured that in last 7 days, close to a lakh of people, migrant workers, daily wage earners, have been fed. What are you doing and how have you managed to do this?
It's actually inspiration from Ganesh, who we saw on television about 2 nights before Modi, Mr. Prime Minister, came on to announce the lockdown, and he requested all of us that the corporate world should come together. And during the same interview, I pinged him on WhatsApp, and he called me back instantly. And then Venkat was already talking to me, so three of us got on a call last Wednesday at about 11 o'clock at night, and we kind of rolled out a plan, and we promised to speak to each other at 8 in the morning. We got on the call at 8 in the morning. From then on till now, I don't think there has been a minute that three of us haven't interacted. We started very small. We wanted only our initial targets, or initial real thing that we wanted to do was 500 meals a day in Bangalore city. But I was just looking at our numbers right now. We have touched about a lakh of meals between three cities, not only in Bangalore. We are also in Hyderabad, Feed My Hyderabad, and Feed My Mumbai that we started yesterday. It is all a initiative of friends, corporate friends, connections, and one of the clear preambles that we set, three of us are set for ourselves, that we will not step out as much as possible to maintain the social distancing. We will use all our resources via Zoom call, WebEx calls, phones, and mobilize people. And more importantly, we will keep this very corporate, very transparent, and we'll only have a workforce that is committed for this initiative that will last till the last day of the lockdown. So that's our commitment. From our perspective, the kind of unending support we got from people, friends, social media, all our friends, and now socialites, and more importantly, celebrities who are chipping in, corporate celebrities, corporate professionals. It has really given our entire initiative a pan-India kind of a presence. And you'll be surprised that local corporators, police officers, BBMP officials, other cities, BMC in Mumbai, Hyderabad, Huda guys are calling us directly and saying, can you give us 500 packets tomorrow in this location? We will manage. So this is, and the biggest joy that we saw, that one of our banners, which we printed overnight, was on a Hoysala car, and the police were actually taking food and giving it to the people. So I think that without the police in every city, without the corporators, without the local municipal authorities, we would have been a zero, because we really can't manage the lockdown with police permissions and all of that. So I think that's been the real, it's a people for people movement, if I can use the right word.
Yeah. So, just to add to what Jaggi said, there was, after first day of lockdown, there was some kind of restlessness within me. And then I was touching base with Jaggi, saying that the city has done so much to all of us. We are what we are because of the city. And, the city has given in abundance to many people. Today, a lot of people who we are dependent on in normal circumstances, they need us today, and we are not able to do anything. Can we do something as a corporate world for this social initiative? I think that's how we got connected. That's the underlying cause. And this social initiative, we thought we will start with the Bangalore in a very organized corporate way. We've got systems, processes, and the compliances, and this can scale up as a model, and the ensuring that we will not become cause for the spreading of this disease. We have social distancing norms, and we got everything that's been followed. That's how we got connected. Once the Feed My Bangalore movement started, there are Feed My Hyderabad, Feed My Mumbai. Now we are talking about Feed My Chennai, Feed My Noida. There are a lot of people who wanted to give that to their respective cities. We got like-minded people on board. And now that we had actually done it in Bangalore, it was easier for us to replicate into the other cities. And that's how it's becoming a great social movement, which was started as a small initiative, because more and more people, organizations, and their individuals are joining and supporting the cause. As Jaggi said rightly, it's people for people movement. We've been telling people, saying that this is the time, this is the biggest crisis we as a country that we are going through post World War. And there are so many of them self-employed daily wagers who are on the street, their children on the street, they don't have food to eat. Can we do something about it? So this is how we have come. We are so happy with the kind of response that we have got. We're able to feed more people. We are able to fill some stomachs. A lot of people are wanting to collaborate with us. We are glad that at the end of the day, we are able to make some difference during this crisis period.
How have you managed? What did it mean? What did it take to make this happen?
Most of us have that in our heart. We are all good people, okay, right? We want to do it. We want to do it, okay, right? Either certain inertia prevents us from doing, okay, right? Not that we don't want to do, or there is no opportunity, ready opportunity to be there to do it. It's like saying we want information, but if you don't have newspaper, if you don't have blogs, including things like your story, you will not have a chance to get that information, okay, right? So for us, it was important that we are able to create something which is scalable, which is replicable. So the way we did it was, having worked in corporate, these two are big corporate honchos, well-known. One CEO of a listed entity, and other person has done is a real estate mogul, if I may call him that. Okay, right? So facilities management mogul.
And you are the father figure of the startup industry.
Yeah. So we said, can I apply principles of startup into this? The only difference was that it has to be done remotely. It has to be done in a lockdown situation. And how do we do a startup? So principle number one, you can't do it alone. You need a strong co-founders with complementary skills to be able to do that. You see Juggy and Venkat here. Venkat is a chartered accountant, CFO, and now CEO of a listed company. And Juggy is a master networker. That is one. And two, we said the process should be such that we are able to scale. So we de-skilled the initiative into 4 distinct pillars. Okay, right? So one, just like the way we do a startup, almost it's been sounding like a startup. One is really the simplest to understand is the donation or raising money for it or funds for it. That's part one. Part two is, how are you going to cook ready to eat meals at scale? We obviously have fresh menu, we have grow fit. Those are kitchens, those are available because they are running at half the capacity. But that's not scalable for 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. Right? So how are you going to do? And you have to do it in these circumstances in a hygienic way, which doesn't spread disease, which conforms to all compliances, is hygienic, and cooked additionally for the COVID-19 kind of a situation where gloves or mask and all of that. So that's the second pillar. Third pillar is, we started on the second day of the lockdown. So how are you going to transport the last mile logistics, getting people the permission, getting vans the permission, the ability to reach the last mile? And the fourth pillar is the actual distribution of logistics. Where are you going to get the tens and thousands of people going to identify? We know all of them are in the city, but how are you going to identify certain clusters, ensure social distancing, and how are you going to do this in a scalable manner? So these were the 4 pillars. Donation is easy to understand. For the second part of it, I have a company, I think you also covered it, called Hunger Box, which is a B2B food tech platform. So they do catering. They have caterers on the platform. They do 7.5 lakh meals a day across 16 cities in the country, supplying meals to top international companies like IBM, like HCL, like TCS, and Accenture and all those. So they were supplying 7.5 lakh meals, but the capacity of these caterers, industrial level caterers, was 15 lakh meals a day. So this included global players like Compass and Sodexo, and some of the local players and all that. But all of them ISO certified, process certified, FSA certified, and all that. So we leaned on Hunger Box because of my involvement there, saying that we want to do this. You also chip in as the partner, pro bono, to be able to go and do that stuff. I think that was the second part of it. The third part of it and the fourth part of it, we were able to get, like in Bangalore, in each of the city, high-powered local leader volunteers who said, I want to do this for my city. So they jumped up and said, the city is very important because people emotionally relate to city. Okay, yeah. Right? While people should donate to Prime Minister's Relief Fund and Chief Minister's Relief Fund and all that is important, but they relate to city and you see them directly. So that touched a chord. So we have been fortunate, for instance, to get a stellar team in Hyderabad, which has already kicked off. In Mumbai, we have people like Neeraj Bhargav, who is ex-CEO of WNS and Zodius Capital, who is part of the core team, and we have a great team there. Similarly, in Chennai, we are talking for starting off. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll start off tomorrow. People like Gopal Srinivasan and Ramraj, founder of SIFI, are helping us put together a team along with the Akila, who is the Thai Chennai chapter president. Hopefully, we should, if you are able to get permission, we will start off. Similarly, in Noida, we have a strong leadership team that's planning to do Noida. So 50% of the things are centralized done here. 50% is really done at the local level, almost like your head office and branches. So pretty much 7-day startup, multiple locations, roll out in each locations, have strong local leaders.
Are you prepared to do this till, for the whole of 21 days?
So I'll take that question. I think when we started, we wanted to be only 500 meals a day, and we had enough resources for that entire period. But I think it's a people's movement. People are pushing us now. It's not us, we're doing it. Honestly, there's so much of tailwinds to this initiative that any headwind that comes, we can maneuver and move forward. It's so gratifying. And the kind of energy, you should see the kind of energy on the volunteers who are actually startup, they run their own startups, are actually volunteering. So there's no hierarchy in this company. There is nothing called you are my boss and I'm your subordinate, nothing. We are working on one goal to ensure that no one goes hungry for the entire period. That's our goal.
Wow.
Yeah, so most likely what will happen is we will end up doing it not just for the lockdown period. Even the lockdown is likely to be released on a slightly gradual fashion. Even when the lockdown is over, next day the migrant labor is not going to get in. So this is not an indefinite period, but we will taper it down. So we are working and seeing how that particular thing happens. So to answer your question, lockdown period definitely yes. Then slightly tapering down when people find their feet is our intent. But a couple of things before I hand over to Venkat. What surprised me in the whole thing is obviously I have raised capital in the past from multiple people. This is my first social enterprise. The alacrity and the readiness with which people contribute is overwhelmingly amazing. That goes to your point, Shraddha, which you said, saying that people want to do it, okay, right? Which is really heartening, okay, right? So it's not, almost 99.99% want to do it. And initially, when we want to spread the message, when we reached out to people who are celebrities to spread the message, even the people we reached out, we did this. There was one guy who was a student who said, I have 500 rupees of pocket money. Can I do it? Can it help? Okay, right. I told him, of course it helps, because that'll feed 20 people. Just go ahead and do it. Okay, right. So that really surprised me. Second is the enthusiasm of volunteers that Juggy talked about. I mean, they are people who are struggling startups, people who need to spend time, day and night they are working. And Juggy has worked on the ground with some of the people who are doing logistics. That's the toughest part in this situation. Slowly easing, it's the toughest part. I think those two are really something for me to call out. Sorry, Venkat, go ahead.
Sorry, voice wasn't clear. So as Ganesh was saying, Shraddha, a lot of people are good people, kind heart, want to do something, but then they don't know which organization is actually doing a credible job. What we coming together could do is add credibility to the whole initiative. So they know that we are the people who are doing fairly well in our respective fields. We don't need to choose this path to do anything. So the moment they realize, saying that it's a corporate guys who have come and floated this, and we actually gave out an assurance saying that they know that otherwise also, that every rupee that is they are contributing, it is going to feed some hungry stomachs, and therefore people came. There is not even one institution, one person to whom we made a second call. So the fact that we are able to do it and feed the people and tell people what we are doing so that awareness is spread itself is bringing in more and more people into the campaign, and the contributions are flowing in. Corporates are joining. We have people like HDFC Capital, SBI, Manipal Foundation, and FICCI, FLO, and many more people backing us. A lot of individual contributions coming in. Many more organizations are just now joining the other chapters as well. So therefore, once there is a credibility that is established, and the fact that we are doing selflessly trying to serve people, and not just us. As Ganesh was saying, there are a lot of volunteers on ground, which is a very, very difficult job. I think the credit should go to administration, government. They are doing their bit. Whatever we do in this crisis is not going to be enough. Not only we trying to do, we're very happy to share that we are able to motivate and inspire many more people to come forward and do something like what we are doing, either directly or indirectly through us. I think that's where we are able to chip in and make this initiative into like social movement, which is spreading across multiple cities. We have processes, we can scale up, we can do even higher number if there is a need and requirement.
We are getting calls from Jaipur, from Pune, from Meerut. I got a call from Meerut from somebody. So it's just that, our playbook is ready, but this playbook can only move forward if we have many more people who get inspired, and we just roll these things out. And Shraddha, you know how things work out. It's actually a mass people's movement where nobody realized what we were doing. And suddenly, because I think medically, we may not be completely equipped to fight this war, but socially with love, if we can reach out to people and ensure that people don't die of the corona, but don't die of hunger rather than, dying of corona. So I think from that perspective, we want to ensure that, we want to reach out to as many people on the last mile.
Do you have a name? I saw Feed My Mumbai, Feed My.
So we started with Feed My Bangalore. Then we went to Feed My Hyderabad. Now we have Feed My Mumbai. By Sunday morning, 12 o'clock, we'll have Feed My Noida. And we'll also have Feed My Chennai if we can clear up all the decks. So we have 5 cities and we want to do more. And the hashtags, Feed My Bangalore, Feed My Hyderabad are all up and running. We have a team that is dedicated to our social media because that's the only way we can communicate during this period. We have many celebrities who have actually helped us. Sunil Shetty just now tweeted, Madhur Bhandarkar tweeted for us, Kiran Mazumdar Shah, KL Rahul, all of them. First, the Bangalore Connect, the social connect really helped us with Bangalore. Now the Mumbai Connect, the emotional connect of every city is helping our people in those cities to move forward.
So Shraddha, what we really need is, this is part of, obviously it's a not-for-profit foundation with ATG benefits for individual. It's really corporates. This is allowed under the CSR funding. So really we are hoping that as some of the corporates have stepped up, and Venkat named them, we are able to get more corporates in each of the cities to come in and pitch in and contribute, so that we can able to continue this till lockdown, until tapered lockdown lifts. One of the main things is that almost 100% of the donations goes into feeding the people. There is no overhead. The foundation we are supporting, we are not taking money from donors and using it either to run the foundation or for volunteer expenses or for raising more money or promoting. One of the normal challenges, I'm not saying it's wrong, for all the institution is the administration takes money. Here, 100% of the money donated goes into cooking the food, transporting, packing the food, the packaging, and actually delivering the food. That's a call that we took. We have been able to maintain it so far. Nothing wrong in doing it otherwise, but it's just a feeling that if you contribute $100, that $100 is actually going to the end use. That I think is very satisfying. That touches people. Apart from the fact that they understand it's a real crisis now. All of us are facing stress in our lives. We are facing stress in personal lives. We are facing stress in our startup lives. But compare that stress to somebody who cannot know how to feed themselves or the family. I mean, that is not stress. That is huge, this one. And Juggy can tell you, he had gone on the 3rd day to the kitchen along with the truck, and he went in order to motivate the volunteers there. And he went along with the truck to the place where they were feeding, and he can share with you what happened there. Yeah.
Honestly, Shraddha, I think what Ganesh said, it's heart-wrenching. If the right word is heart-wrenching, I couldn't hold my tears, and Venkat called me up, and we spoke on the phone. It was heart-wrenching to see how, when our cars come, how little kids who have no clothes to wear, they are running behind the cars. And we realized that they wanted milk. The next day we started milk. But these are all logistic nightmares, and we have day jobs. Like Ganesh said, I'm a real estate broker. I run a real estate company, and Venkat has his own, day job that he does. And Ganesh is completely managing 5 or 7 startups that he manages. For us, we are only as half as successful or 1% successful if we didn't have a great team on the ground. And the great team is not only our volunteers, but also people on the ground. People are calling us, the cops, the municipal commissioner, the ward officers. Just to let you know, for the last 7 days, we have taken over 4 Indira canteens in Hebbal area. Indira canteens are now being fed by Feed My Bangalore. One cop stopped our car and he said, where are you going? As we didn't have a pass on day one. I said, Feed My Bangalore. He allowed us to go. Because now Feed My Bangalore has become a social movement. And I think that's what is very important.
If we want to contribute and participate, how do we make it happen? How do we
go to our hashtags, hashtag Feed My Bangalore, hashtag Feed My Hyderabad, hashtag Feed My Mumbai. And always remember what Modi ji said, that jaan hai to sab kuch hai, jahan hai. We will say, khana hai to jaan hai to jahan